Welcome, everybody, to episode 32 of the Canuckleheads podcast. My name is Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wes, and we have some news to go over here. So, October 2nd, 2022, the Canucks reduced the preseason roster, and I have a picture here of who was sent down. The following were released from their PTOs and joining Abbotsford in the AHL. We have Vince Arsenault, Mark Getacombe, Chase Waters, and Matt Alfaro. And then we had one player released from their amateur tryouts, also going to Abbotsford in the AHL, Michael Rugush, I believe is how you say that. So again, no surprises there. I did like what I saw from Chase Waters. I think at some point he might have a chance to actually make the show. So in a fourth line kind of energy role, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. October 4th, the Canucks reduced their preseason roster again. And then I have another image here of the players that were sent down. So we have John Stevens, Noah Juleson, Brady Keeper, Guillaume Brisebois, and Colin Delia, all assigned to Abbotsford. Again, no real surprises. With Brady Keeper, you just want to see him play because, again, he had that nasty leg injury in training camp last year. So This is really the first game action or like practice he's had in a year or so.
Yeah, and I liked in one of the preseason games in between periods, they actually interviewed him and just asked him, like, obviously it feels great to be back. And he said, yeah, man, like it was a long process and we're glad to have him back.
Yep. Also, Trent Nielsen was released from his PTO, also joining Abbotsford. Tristan Nielsen, sorry. I could see the Canucks signing him. He was very impactful in the Young Stars. Especially, if he has a good start to Abbotsford, I could see him getting an actual contract from the team.
Yeah.
Danny DeKeyser was released from his PTO, so he leaves camp without a contract, won't be signing in Vancouver. Not really a big surprise. Didn't have a great camp. Somebody will probably sign him, the Coyotes are always out there.
Yeah, 100%. And it's kind of hard to look like a stud in our camp right now with all the guys that we have lingering around. It's like, Jesus Christ, what are you supposed to do, man?
And then the following players were assigned to Abbotsford. Archer Stilovs, Arshdeep Baines, Wyatt Kalynuk, Danila Klimovich, and Will Lockwood. So the Lockwood one could be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Young William.
Yeah, it didn't really seem to have the wheels he had when he made his NHL season debut last year.
Yeah, I think his timing seemed the most off. It even seemed like he was more physical last season, but I think that has to do with the timing.
Yeah.
I feel like his timing was just off, so he couldn't line the hits up. He wasn't really in the right position like last season. Obviously it's the start of the year, so he's a bit rusty, but last year he definitely just had more going on the ice.
Yeah, and maybe he's kind of like a slow starter, right? He is a physical player, right? So maybe it takes him a couple games, getting hit a couple times and to really
get into it.
Yeah, and get the pace and everything. So
yeah.
And with the depth we brought in, it's not really a big surprise that he's not on the roster. Mm-hmm. But 24, he's getting close to you got to make that push.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So we'll also talk about the orange t-shirt game the Canucks played in Abbotsford, October 5th, 2022. Edmonton was the visiting team. This was the Truth and Reconciliation game. Just nice for the teams to do things like that. They wore the special warm-up jerseys again. It's nice to have more awareness brought to that. Wes and I are both Métis guys, so it's nice to have that recognition, I guess.
And that's why we put it on the thumbnail of the last episode, just kind of bring some awareness.
Yeah, we knew the game wasn't during that episode, but the actual holiday was. So, and then they had this here. It was also, I don't know if this would have been the plan or not from Edmonton, but they addressed basically their whole NHL lineup, which is great for the people of Abbotsford to go see, and especially on the Truth and Reconciliation game. Go get it was nice that they
bring some stars.
Yeah, they gave them their money's worth basically.
100%.
So we're gonna just keep going through news here. October 7th, 2022, the Canucks announced that they've traded Jason Dickinson and a 2024 second round pick to Chicago for defenseman Riley Stillman. Woo! They announced this during the first period of their final preseason game against Arizona. And I'm pretty happy with it. Like
we clear cap and cash.
I see a lot of people being upset for trading the pick, but in my eyes, it's not this year's, it's next year's. So you have a lot of time to recoup that pick.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe the management has had their hands just tied too much that they had to do a move like this to get things flowing to figure things out.
And that's like it. You could tell Chicago definitely had a little bit more leverage in this deal because of the way Jason Dickinson's performed as of late, and because of the way that Riley Stillman is trending. He's kind of trending upward.
I think so too.
So it's kind of funny. Like I think Chicago knows the position we were in with Jason Dickinson, and they said, throw a little sweetener on there. And we did. And I honestly think it was an awesome trade.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It'll be interesting to see how much Stillman plays, right? Because we do have a very crowded blue line.
But we've seen how the injuries have been already.
Yeah,
and we've got Quinn has the bug right now. He's a little bit sick.
Non-COVID related.
No, but I think we might see Stillman just kind of slot right in the first game and be like, all right, what you got? And
who knows?
Honestly, when I try to look a guy up, because I'm not familiar with Stillman whatsoever, when I try to look a guy up and all I see is fights, I love it. I'm like, okay, this guy needs to come to the Canucks because we don't have many guys that bring that.
We definitely have more grit than we did last year.
Yeah.
With Stillman, I did notice him in Chicago. I like his game.
Yeah.
I know he's not an analytics player, but the thing you also have to take into account with that is Chicago is a bad team in general. Right?
Oh, it's hard to get a good anything good going in Chicago.
Yeah,
right
I don't know. You don't know what he is like.
Yeah.
Maybe the Canucks aren't the best team in the league, but I think they're better than the Blackhawks, so let's put him on this team and see what he is, you know?
Yeah, and from what I've heard is that he throws the body heavy. He's not afraid to stick up for himself when someone wants to scrap after a big hit, and that's exactly what we need on the blue line right now. We got guys like Quinn who aren't necessarily going to wow you with his hits. He's just going to wow you with his skating and with his chemistry with the forwards on the ice.
Yep.
And it's funny because the only guys on our team that fight are all D-men.
Yeah.
But
Pearson the odd time.
Pierce the odd time. Bo the odd time. And Bo will punch your lights out. He's freaking solid, man. And
Joshua also.
And Joshua, it's kind of funny. I watched an interview of him and he seems like just too sweet of a guy. He's a super nice guy, and you can tell he's like, it's because of my stature I have to fight kind of thing, but it is what it is. He wants to be in the show, and he knows what he has to do. So.
Well, we are definitely a much grittier club than last year as far as like the fighting and physicality wise. Yep. I think you can be gritty without fighting, right? Like I think there's multiple forms of it.
And that's kind of like Lazar. He's a gritty guy that doesn't fight. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to throw big hits. He's going to get in your face and make it hard to play against. But he's not going to be scrapping Darnell Nurse and shit like that. You know what I mean?
The biggest thing you said is hard to play against. I think that's kind of where this NHL is trending. That's kind of your definition of grit, right? Mm-hmm. You'll always have guys that'll drop the gloves like when things get heated. But just you have to be a hard two-way player in the league. That's 100%. I think kind of what a modern day gritty player is.
Yeah.
October 8th, 2022, we had more roster cuts here. Let me find that one here. So we had the following players assigned to Abbotsford and placed on waivers: Christian Wolanin and Sheldon Dries. Again, like that game against the Oilers, there was a lot of hype for Christian Wolanin. Had a very good game.
Yep.
Looked like noticeable and solid and like an NHL capable defenseman.
Yeah.
We just have so many of those kind of bottom pairing guys that it's hard to find a roster spot for him.
Yeah, and I think what our management has been able to do, I know there wasn't like many upgrades to the blue line, but now we have a lot deeper group of NHL defensemen.
Yeah.
Last year, oh my God, if one guy gets injured, it's not looking pretty for us.
Yeah.
This year, man, we got guys to slot in and we have legitimate NHL caliber defensemen.
Yeah, like you look at last year, like Noah Juleson played a couple games, Madison Bowie played a couple games. Like, I doubt Juleson will get a game this year, just how deep the roster is.
100%.
Also, Justin Dowling was assigned to Abbotsford too. So, again, like Christian Wolanin might be a bit of a surprise, but also at the same time, like not a major one.
No, he has time.
Yeah, and he'll be a good depth piece if there is injuries.
Yep.
Same thing with Sheldon Dries.
I liked Dries last year a lot.
I did too.
This year, it's one of kind of like young William. He doesn't really seem like he has too much pep out of the gates. But I mean, some guys are kind of, they got to get into the motion, get into the process, and then they start to shine. So Sheldon Dries, he's one of our best guys in Abbotsford. It's always nice when he can get some NHL ice time.
And then Justin Dowling, I think, was just hurt for most of training camp too, so send him down and let him play.
Yeah.
Not really much of an impact forward for the Canucks. I kind of view him as a better Nick Patan, which is not.
Patan was brutal.
Yeah, saying a lot. So we'll go over some injury news here. Bruce Boudreau said that he expects Besser to be a full participant in practice Sunday.
Come on.
Which he was.
It's funny. We always say Quinn, Wolverine, Hughes.
Brock Wolverine Besser.
For real, man. Holy good God. Like they said up to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
What has it been? 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks?
Something like that. He's shooting, stick handling.
From hand surgery.
Yeah. Also expects Ilya Mckev to be a non-contact participant Sunday as well. And expects both of them to make the trip to Edmonton on Wednesday. So some good news there.
Yeah.
Let's balance that out with some bad news because this is a Canucks podcast. Tyler Myers is out 2 to 4 weeks with a lower body injury.
Don't need him. He had a bad start already.
Not that we don't need him. But
no, he's been pretty... there's areas where he does good, and then there's areas where he is bad. And honestly, I'm kind of... I don't want to... I'm not glad that Tyler Myers is injured. I'm just glad that maybe another guy gets an opportunity, and we can see what he looks like.
Yeah. And then October 10th, 2022, which is today, the Canucks announced their final roster. So we'll go over the whole roster here of everybody that made the team. This is in jersey numbers. So Luke Shen, Jack Rathbone made the team. Tucker Pullman, Brock Besser, Connor Garland, JT Miller, Curtis Lazar, Hoglander, OEL, Spencer Martin, Thatcher Demco, PD, Hughes, Burroughs, Klimovich, Gorvette, Stillman, Pearson, Joshua, Oman, Podkolzin, and Kuzmenko.
And the only one that's kind of any bit of a surprise is the Rathbone one, and it's more than likely because Durman hasn't been feeling well as of late, so they're just kind of like, Jack Rathbone just bumped you. Just took your spot.
I don't know if it's a surprise for how well he played.
No, he played great, and Rathbone's been trending that way.
Yeah.
But it's just the simple fact that maybe Dermott challenges him if he's able to stay healthy, and you know what I mean?
For me, I think it's Burroughs who would be fighting with Dermott. I think Rathbone has done enough to where they're going to give him that third pairing role and just let him play.
His skating's so crispy. It's and his breakout passes are crispy.
He's probably the second best blue liner at that.
So. Really, our only breakout pass guys right now are OEL and Quinn Hughes. So if we can add a third, you know what I mean? It just adds more strength, more depth.
And then, you can do different things again, right? Like, if Quinn and OEL play together, right, then you have another guy that can at least distribute the puck too. You're not putting your two best puck mover, well, you are, but you still have another guy that can move the puck.
No, 100%. And it's so funny, too. It reminds me of the Bruce Boudreau interview where he said Quinn Hughes and Shen will be playing again tonight. He's like, I don't know why it works. It just works. And I love that he's made mention of that because it is kind of funny that just works so good.
Yeah, it just works for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So also we have a note here on Klimovich making the roster, which is not really he's not going to play. Yeah. It's a paper move for the cap.
Exactly.
So Thomas Drance tweeted out, the Canucks just released this roster too. We just kind of got lucky with the timing of the podcast here. So in addition to the players the Canucks announced that are going on IR, which is Dermott, Myers, Mckev, and DiGiuseppe. They've also been placed on injured reserve. Klimovich is on the roster for cap reasons. He'll remain on the NHL roster until after games conclude tomorrow. So he's not technically on the team. It's just a salary cap thing to make it work with all the injuries. So there's that.
He won't be dressing.
Yeah, which... and you gotta wonder...
It is what it is.
So they sent Carlson down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's he didn't make the roster or if it just had to work cap-wise to do it with Klimovich.
I kind of liked his game, so...
He had a good game. We have enough depth where you can go let him play in the AHL and kind of get his feet wet to the North American game.
Yeah.
And then see what he does in a couple weeks, a month or whatever. And if he fits in and has no difficulty with the speed.
And this is not the start of our injuries. So, I mean, you know what I mean? We're just getting kicked off here. He's going to get an opportunity at some point.
Yeah, and like he showed he can fit in. There are just a couple of things where it's kind of like maybe his brain just shuts off for a second where he doesn't realize, like, oh, I got to be skating. This is my guy kind of thing. Or maybe he's just a little bit slower foot speed wise, but that's all stuff you can fix. So.
Yeah, 100%.
And then one thing here that Thomas Drance tweeted out too, with Mckev being placed on injured reserve before the season, he can come back earlier than October 17th. If it was during the regular season, October 17th would be the earliest he could come back. So could be in for game one. Kind of seems doubtful, but just the way he was placed on injured reserve, that's not the first time he can come back.
And I honestly don't even want him in game one. Besser, that's even pushing it. You know what I mean? It's game one, man. Like, let's not get this guy hurt again. I get it. Besser's on a goddamn mission this season. I get that.
Yeah.
But Mckev, man, the knock on him, let's talk about the knock on certain players here, is that he's kind of a soft guy. He gets injured a lot. And already, one hit in that game, he's injured now. Now I'm concerned. Do we have a liability on our hands, a $5 million liability? I don't know. It's questions I ask myself late at night.
So it's a fair question. And we'll see. Hopefully it's like non-effective for the rest of the season and he just comes in and has a good full year.
I hope so.
The same thing with Brock. It's so hard to tell, right? Like he was shooting, stick handling. He looked like he had zip on his shot.
Goals. Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the lineup too, but like you said, like you just don't want to, with everything Brock's been through, like you just want him to have a full healthy year and just
let him heal. Play. Let him heal, man.
Yeah.
Don't force the hand. I mean, we'll talk about the schedule later. I'm not even going to bring that up right now.
Okay, so Wes had a couple things he wanted to go over schedule-wise. So, floor's all yours here, Wes.
Why are we starting with a road trip? I hate this. Bo even made mention to it. He said, like, man, they must hate us the way we're coming out here. We got to travel all over the goddamn place. And yeah, once we get to Philly, there's not much travel. I get that. But Jesus Christ, can we have a good start to the year here?
I also believe that this is the fourth year in a row we've started in Edmonton. So the Canucks haven't had a first game of the year at home in at least 4 years.
They hate us.
And yeah, it is. Being a Western team, the Canucks always have one of the worst travels, like schedules, plans. I'm sure the Kraken are going through the same thing too. So yeah, it sucks. But honestly, at this point, I just want to see some games.
Me too.
But it is frustrating.
You hate to see a road stretch right off the bat. Like the first 4 games, man, on the road. Like, come on. Can we just get one at home real quick? Let us get the whole roster, get their feet wet, and then let's go on the road or something. But nope, the Canucks, once again, just screwed over by the NHL. No respect. I don't know. It bothers me.
It is weird too, right? Like, I get they're in the same division and everything, but like, why can't Edmonton come to Vancouver, or like why don't we go to Calgary or something like that? I don't know. It's just a weird tradition the league has where we have to start in Edmonton every year.
Yeah, it is really weird, and I'm glad that reporter asked that to Bo, because you could even tell by his reaction. He was like, "It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna bond as a group on the road," because they kind of like to do that on the road. They like to kind of have team dinners and stuff like that, which is nice because COVID's not so rampant.
That is one plus, right? Like, they're away from their families and everything, so it's just the boys.
Just the boys.
Yeah, go. Yeah. And especially for so many new additions, right? Like, let's, go have a couple beverages and,
get to know the boys.
Gel as a team.
Yeah.
So speaking of the team, one thing I wanted to ask you is who you think will be the assistant captains for this year. We know Bo's got the C. No.
That's on lockdown.
Yeah, no questions there.
And in my opinion, JT Miller's got that A on lock on his sweater.
Just some interesting things in the preseason, right? And it's just preseason. But PD getting an A, Quinn Hughes wearing the A. I believe OEL wore the A one game too.
So. And honestly, and I know it's not always performance-based. And I know it's nice to have an A on the sweater of a defenseman because it's nice to have kind of a leader on the back end as well. But Elias Patterson.
Yeah, you think JT Miller and Petey?
The way he played this preseason, to me, it seemed like he came in he was ready to play. He was not having timing issues or, you know what I mean? A lot of the guys kind of had excuses. I hate to throw Gorvette under the bus here. One of the guys that kind of had a little bit of excuses with timing issues and this and that. Petey had none of that. He came out just passing pucks like it was mid-season, sniping bar down mid-season form.
Yeah.
Put that A on his sweater.
Especially that last game against Arizona. Like, granted, it's Arizona, but he looked lethal. He looked
dishing Kuzi for that tap-in, and Kuzi was just shocked it even hit his tape.
Yeah.
Like, Petey, in my eyes, is a clear leader on this team. And Quinn, on the ice, is a bigger leader than off the ice. But I just think Elias Patterson deserves it.
I would agree with you that I think he deserves it. For me, I think it's going to be Miller and OEL. Like you said earlier.
Yeah. They've had it on OEL's jersey again, even in the preseason. And I see it coming, but it's like a little disappointing for me. I want one of these young guys to make that next step, and the next step is
getting that A on there.
Yeah.
See, and I think you can give him one more year, right?
Yeah.
Like, just let him go out and play.
That's true.
Especially how last year went. Like, these guys need to just focus on playing. Like, PD, Quinn, and Thatcher
don't put too much pressure on them.
Arguably our biggest pieces. Yeah, let's just, if PD tears up the league and has a 90-point season.
The A is coming off Oliver Ekman-Larsson's sweater, baby.
And if Quinn Hughes has an 80-point season and he's dominant and plus 18 or something, maybe the A comes off JT Miller's sweater.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I don't know. I think Miller will wear the A his whole time in Vancouver.
He definitely could. He's got a big old contract, but so does Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's see what happens. I'm excited.
But yeah, that was just a question that I had thought of just specifically to ask you. I know you take the letters very serious. Yeah. Wes is a big letters guy, a big pants guy, and the knock-on guy. So, again, like, our next episode, we'll actually have regular season hockey to talk about. So like we did last year, we're going to do a goal prediction. We also included goalies this year, not goalie goals, but goalie wins and shutouts.
Yeah. So
we can go over that right now. So we'll do defenseman first, just like last year. Wes, Kyle Burroughs.
I don't see him playing an absolute ton this season. I see him being slotted in as when we know we're in for a physical game. We know we're going to have some grit in the lineup. You'll see Kyle Burroughs slide in. He's not a goal scorer, but I mean, he does throw shots on net. He might get 2 goals. That's what I have him in for.
I have him as 2 goals too. Big change from last year already. I believe you and I were like 6 goals apart on Jack Rathbone.
Way off, yeah.
Also, we are going to think of some kind of prize for whoever is closer at the end of the year. There'll be something. We'll do something cool. Maybe we'll get a trophy or a belt or something.
Whether it be a punishment and a prize or just a prize, we'll see what happens.
Next, we have Jack Rathbone, and I have Rathbone down for 3 goals.
I have him down for 2 goals.
Oh, that's getting real conservative.
I'm getting real conservative this season. I learned my lesson from last season, but it's because I see him making a lot more assists than goals.
Yeah, he won't probably get much power play time, if any.
Maybe second unit.
Yeah, I think he'll get the odd shot through.
Yep.
Luke Shen.
Shenner, you're my boy. You were leading the defenseman at one point for goals. I got him down for 5 tucks.
Ooh, Wes.
But hey, man, look at last season.
That is true.
Shen.
I have Luke Shen down for 3.
Okay, that's still... Luke Shen, if he even pots 3, I'm happy.
And honestly... Not necessarily because I don't think 5 is out of the question. We're so deep on defense.
But if he plays with Quinn,
he might not play it. You know what I mean? It's just there's so many and if they do OEL Hughes, Shen's on that 3rd pairing and maybe he gets rotated out. So that's kind of just what I was thinking.
Yep.
Next, Travis Dermott. I have him down for 4 goals.
I have him down for 2.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, with him not being healthy at the start of the season, I just kind of feel like, hey, maybe it might be hard for him to even get into the lineup after the guys get started and a couple guys start playing good. You never know what can happen. So
that's a fair point.
And Travis Dermott, you didn't really see too much out of him for shots last season. You more or less seen him kind of dishing it into the zone and trying to get the forwards going, which I do like. Yeah. But I think 2 is...
Yeah, and for me, I think he's one of few defensemen that will jump up in the rush consistently.
Yeah.
So I just think he'll get an extra 1 or 2 here.
Yep.
Next we have the new guy, Riley Stillman.
Stiller. I don't think he's going to get a ton of goals. I think he's more of a physical guy. He's just trying to bring some energy. I got him down for 1 goal.
I got him for 2. I think the same thing as you do. I think just this team is going to shoot a lot.
Yeah.
And,
he might tuck a couple.
Shots from the point.
Yeah.
Next, we have Tyler Myers, the 1 goal man from last year.
And this reflects that.
Really? I have Myers down for 5.
2. I got no faith in him. Giraffe, I got no faith, man.
And I don't know if I do either. It's just he can't score 1 goal again.
In my opinion, his career has shifted, and now he's a defensive guy. And you've seen him in the preseason jumping up in front of the net and shit like that. Regular season comes around, I think that's kiboshed.
I love the preseason game. I think it was against the Oilers where he's got the puck at the circle and he just trips over his own feet. Just bites it, doesn't even get a shot through.
Yeah.
Like Myers in mid-season form.
Yeah. I think, you know how Luke Shen kind of adapted his career? Tyler Myers is in the process. He needs to adapt his career or it's going to be a rough road here soon.
All right, next, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Wes?
I got 6 tucks. Honestly, I know he didn't put up like barely any last year, but I think some of those shots are going to get through this year. I think he was extremely snake-bitten. I think he will at least get 4 to 6 goals. I think he's right in that range.
I got him at 7, so we're pretty close there.
Yep.
Next, I have Tucker Pullman. I have him down for 2, which even might be a stretch. Like, just who knows? 0.
Big old goose egg.
Oh.
Pullman's had some issues staying healthy. I haven't seen him be a consistent Canuck yet. I got him for 0 tucks.
Honestly, a very good point. Like, and especially with head injuries, who knows? Like, hopefully he's healthy all year, but we've seen it before, and hopefully we don't see it again. But
yep.
Then we have Quinn, Wolverine, Hughes. I got him down for 12.
Huggy Bear, I got him for 7. And I was being pretty conservative because I was like, I want to kind of jump out the window and go high. But I think 7 is conservative because he didn't score a ton of goals last year. You just seen him the assist master, basically, which I think will kind of repeat again this year. But I think he pots a few more goals.
Yeah, I think assists, playmaking will always be the primary part of his game. Mm-hmm. But he said he's going to shoot more. I think he finished with 8 last year.
And I like that he made mention of the fact that Roman Josi had like 100 and something more shots than
like
him.
130 or something like that.
And he just thought that was a crazy stat. So just by him saying that he's going to look to let the puck go a lot more this season, which I love.
And something like that too, like Quinn Hughes has been in the league a while now. There's tape on Quinn Hughes. You know what he likes to do.
Yep.
You throw that shot more, that changes everything, right? Goalies 100%. Are going to be cheating, like looking for that pass to Petey or Miller. You throw a puck on net, you're going to catch him off guard.
Which they're going to flirt with him on the right side too. And he even made mention of the fact that he thinks he might be more dangerous on the right side when it comes to goal scoring. So that's going to be interesting to see as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to shoot a lot more, and it feels like he barely shoots now and he still's getting 8. So
and being a left-hand shot, he's got a lot different angles from the right side.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
All right, we'll go over some of the forwards now. Or do you want to do goalies next?
We can do goalies. I honestly didn't even write them down. I'm just flying right off the cuff with this.
We'll hammer out the goalies real quick. For wins, for Thatcher Demco, what do you have?
Well, I know he played like 50-something, or how many did he play?
He played a lot of games last year.
He was like 56, or it was in the 50s anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how many wins he got, but I mean, obviously, he's going to get the majority of the wins for the club. That's my boy. Obviously, we're going to be able to relieve him a little bit more with Spencer Martin in that. But let's just go with around 48 to 50 wins. I'm going real high for my boy. 48. Let's go. I'm going 48. I think Thatcher Demco is going to be unstoppable this year. I think he takes another step and he proves to be the best goalie in the league. I think he's going to approach Vasilevsky here, in my opinion. Let's get it.
That's way too many.
I'm just going with it.
All right, I am for 36.
And I like that. I really want, because Biz Nasty, he said it best. Thatcher Demko's like slapping lipstick on a pig. I get where he's coming from with that comment, because Vancouver hasn't proved to get into the playoffs consistently, but this group's been together for a short amount of time here. I think Demko's the man to help us push that envelope.
Like, if you want to bump that down to 40, I'll let you do it right now, Wes.
I mean, I know what I said is aggressive, but I got a couple brews in me, and I'm going with my boy.
I love the confidence. I think Luongo, his most wins in a season was 47. So,
and it's kind of funny. I was comparing their stats together, and if Thatcher plays out his entire contract and he plays the way he's been playing, he has the skills to start pushing those numbers.
Could be up there, yeah.
Which I really love to see. I know it's early, but I mean, if he keeps this consistency or gets better,
yeah,
scary.
There is that potential for him to get even better.
Yeah.
Spencer Martin, I have him down for 12 wins. If you got Demko winning 48 games, he's going to play 72.
You know what I got a little messed up here is I'm thinking points-wise because Spencer Martin got a point for us in every game he played last season. So I'm kind of thinking points-wise, which isn't necessarily wins. It's just in my head I equate that to that's a W because we got point still, you know what I mean? But I think, Spencer Martin, he's not going to play a ton. I think even if he gets 15, that's a A+.
Oh, Wes,
I'm pushing him. I'm
going
to
beat you on goalies.
No, it's okay, but Ian Clark, man, he always fucking pushes the envelope on our goalies. He always makes them better. Spencer Martin, I think he's going to be a real good backup for us. And Thatcher Demco, man, he's coming in with a way different mentality this season. Last season was the most he's ever played.
Yep.
This season, he knows what to expect. He knows how good he has to be. He knows what to do to keep himself healthy. I think we see a monster season.
I think so, too. Next, we have shutouts predicted for each goalie, too. So, Wes, how many shutouts do you think Demko's getting this year? 3?
3.
I have him as 4.
Nice.
All right.
We're close.
Pretty realistic there.
Yeah.
For Spencer Martin, I have him as 1. I don't know if it'll happen, but I hope so.
Yeah. I'm going off high hopes for the goalies, boy. I want them to do so good.
How many shutouts do you think Martin's going to have?
Zippo.
All right, that's fair.
Zippo.
So, the goalie thing, so you think, if I'm getting this right, you think Demko is going to play in 48 games where he gets at least a point? Is that how you're thinking of it?
Because I'm thinking if he even squeaks out an OT loss, for me that's a dub. Because I'm like, we need points. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking of it wrong right now. But I don't care. I said what I said. Right. We're sticking with it.
I'm giving you a chance.
The D-men with the goals last year, I was way overkill. So with the goalies, I'm going overkill this year. Screw it.
All right, and now we're going to finish this off with our forward goal predictions. Starting it off, we have Dakota Joshua, and I have him down for 3.
I have him down for 2. He's not like a super goal scorer or anything, but he's going to be whipping pucks on net. He's going to have some opportunity on the fourth line. And that's usually our gritty line. We usually try to get pucks deep. And
that fourth line seems like it's going to be fairly effective and have some energy to it. So I think they'll have some time on attack.
Me too.
What do you have for Curtis Lazar?
A little bit higher because I have high hopes for this kid. I see him. He's making big hits. He's a gritty guy. He's hard to play against. I think he's going to be the one to really keep the puck in the O-zone. And I got him down for 7 goals.
I got him at 8.
Nice.
Niels Hoglander. I got Hogs down for...
This is a hard one.
This is a hard one. I have him down for 15.
We're super close again.
I think he's going to have a bounce-back season. I don't know where he's going to play in this lineup, especially when everybody's healthy, but I feel like he's going to be on the squad.
Yep, 100%. And with injuries, he's only going to get bumped up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got him down for 12 goals. You seen last season he struggled a little bit at certain points to put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
But then you see those super creative goals where he's just batting it out of the air, taking it off the top of the net and just doing crazy stuff with it. He has more potential than 12 goals for sure, but I'm being on the safe side.
All right, next we got Niels Omen. I have him down for 5. It's his rookie year. Again, I don't know if he's going to be in the show all year because he's easy to send down to Abbotsford.
Yeah.
5 might be generous, but let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I've got him down for 4. We're almost identical. Yeah. I think he's going to get some opportunity this season, and I'd be extremely happy if he got 4 goals.
Yeah, it would be a bonus, especially because they scouted him and found him from another organization, right? They didn't use a pick on him or anything like that.
Nope.
Next, we have Ilya Mckev. This will be an interesting one.
It's another hard one.
It is.
Because you have to think about the health factor.
Yep.
Is he going to stay healthy? How many games is he going to play? Are we even going to get 60 games out of this guy? I don't know.
Where is he going to play? Who's he going to play with?
Exactly. So I've got him down for 16 goals. I think because I've kind of looked at his Toronto stats a little bit, and I'm like, okay, like put him out in front of the net. He's going to score goals because when pucks pop out, he just seems to put it in the right spot. I think 16 is a good number for him.
16.
Wow. Yep. Identical.
Another new guy, Kuzmenko. I got Kuz down for 20 goals.
I got him down for 25. The way he's played in this preseason, man, you put the puck on his stick, breakaway or not, tap-in goal or not, wherever you put the guy, he's scoring goals.
And just, it seems like instant chemistry with PD, so that's a big plus.
I think those two are unbreakable right now. Like, I don't think Boudreaux messes with that at all.
Yeah.
No matter who plays that other side, doesn't matter. Kuzmenko and PD, I think, are locked.
And again, another thing where we can't have lines, we have duos. So there's another duo for you.
And it's funny, too, because if you guys seen the bar down snipe from PD the other night, where he kind of took the puck from Kuzmenko and just kind of ripped it. It was funny because Kuzmenko admitted he was yelling at PD saying, "PD, don't shoot, pass me the puck, pass me the puck." And then PD snipes. He's like, okay, it was a good goal.
Yeah.
It's funny. They both have that shot mentality. They both want to score, and they're going to.
Next, we have Beauford Williams Gorvette.
He put up a career high last year.
He did.
I got him for that same thing this year. If he wouldn't have broke his goddamn foot, I think he would have got this number of goals, 33.
I got Bo at 28. I just feel like there's a lot more offense, and it's going to be a little more shared this year.
But you put Bo in that frickin' top in front of the net on the bumper play.
That's why I still think he's got to get 28.
Ooh, dude, he's one of the nastiest people in that position I've ever seen.
He is very good at it.
Man, he finds any opening, no matter where it is, top corner, bottom corner, no matter where it is, he finds it.
And he's such a big guy, too. Like, once he's in position, it's hard to get him out of there.
He's just a truck.
Yeah,
you just move him.
And the Canucks have weapons all over that first power play, so you can't cheat to one guy because the other guy's going to get it.
And you kind of seen him play Millsy's spot.
Did not look comfortable.
No, but he had some good assists.
Yeah.
He still did some damage.
Vasily Podkolzin. I have Pods for 18 goals.
And this is another hard one. I gave him the same amount as Mckev, 16. I think he has to make a bit of a step this season. With the opportunities that I see him get, I could see him getting 16 goals.
Yep, I think that's right around. He does have to make a step. Goal-wise is not necessarily what I'm expecting from him. No. I just wanted his game to evolve as a whole.
100%.
So if he gets more than 15, that's just a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Garland. Wes?
My boy Garley. It's because I looked at Kuzmenko's goals, and I was like, I got to put him one up. Got to put Garland one up on him. 26 goals. He's been in the show longer. He knows how to score goals. He knows where to go to score goals. He always seems to stay healthy, even taking that big hit in the preseason. They're kind of saying they're just doing maintenance on him. He's not really injured or anything. Garland knows where to be, man. He's going to put 26 in, I believe.
I have Garland at 21.
And I think that's a smarter choice, but I just have high hopes for my boy.
Yeah, and I think Garland's going to have a big year.
Yeah.
I just, in my mind, I view him as more of a playmaker.
Yeah, he can dish.
Yeah, more of a distributor of the puck. 20 is kind of like the bar for him for me. Anything under, I'm a little disappointed.
Anything over?
Yeah, money.
Yeah.
Tanner Pearson. I have him down for 17 goals.
I have him down for 16.
Yeah.
Pierce, man, this guy, it's a love-hate relationship. I've always liked Pearson as a person. I liked his game when he first came to the team. It seemed like in the preseason he was getting opportunities. He was winning the pucks on net. He looked good. Didn't really...
Yeah.
He doesn't wow you, but, I mean, he's always in the play. He's always doing something, so I think 16 isn't unreasonable.
With Pearson, he's arguably our most responsible winger, right?
That's true.
The way Boudreaux looks at it as JT Miller is going to be the hard matchup guy, so you want your best two-way winger on that line. So I think Pearson's just going to play a ton. Yeah. I don't think he's the player he was. I don't think he's lost a major step, maybe like a quarter of a step or something.
Yeah.
But, so I think 17 is right around... like where he's gonna wind up.
And I don't like to compare players, but like compare the JT Miller penalty minutes versus Tanner Pearson.
Yeah.
Tanner Pearson does not take penalties, and he's super hard to play against.
Yeah.
So he proves to be a clean player. He knows how to get it done. He's going to get some ice time this season.
Yep. Next, Elias the Alien Patterson.
We all seen with a bad start what this guy can do. Yep. I got him at 37 goals.
I have him at 32. I expect a big season from Petey.
Me too.
I think
Look at the way he's come out of the gates.
Yeah. At the end of the year, this might look stupid because it might be a low total because I expect him to be like a 90-point guy. So
me too.
Maybe he's more around 40 at the end of the year, which would be amazing. But I think 32, and I think he's just going to be setting people up like crazy on the power play.
Yep, that's it. Especially Kuzmenko.
Yep.
You know he's just going to be threading the needle to that kid and getting him goals. So his goals might be a little bit lower because of that, but we all know Peavy's shot.
Yeah.
If he keeps letting that thing go like he has been in the preseason, 2 goals the other night, I think 37 is achievable.
Next, we have Brock Besser.
My boy.
I have Bess down for 31 goals.
He said this is the year to hit 30. 36 goals for my boy Brock Besser. And it's because he is more of a pure goal scorer than Petey is. Like, I shouldn't say that. It's just like Petey's shot is like an alien type shot. He has lasers. Brock does too, but Brock doesn't really dish that much. He's more a little bit selfish when it comes to shots because he has to be because he is a goal scorer. So I think he gets 36.
Yeah, I could see it too. Again, he's going to play a ton because he's kind of probably your second best two-way winger.
Yep.
So he'll be on that first line. He'll be on the power play. He has pressure from Kuzmenko now, right? To maybe take that spot in the down 100%. Low. And, maybe if he doesn't start the season in Edmonton and Kuzmenko's on that power play one, there's pressure on Besser now for probably the first time in his career, I think.
Which is good.
It is good, yeah.
Internal competition just makes everyone better.
Next, another guy that's very hard to predict. JT Miller.
Got him down for 30 tucks. His assists are going to carry him, I believe. I think 30's high, but I got him at 30.
I got him at 30.
Nice.
So we got two of the exact same. I think it's going to be a pretty heavy offensive team. It seems so much more balanced than last year where we had maybe 2 lines of guys that could theoretically pot 20 goals.
Yeah.
This, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if any guys from the top 3 lines crack 20. There's a couple, right? Like, you expect more from Bo, from Miller, from Petey, from Bess. But, there's just so much goal scoring potential in the squad.
Exactly. Potential is the key word. You got Mckev, you got Kuzmenko, you have freaking Podkolzin. Podkolzin's kind of that wild card.
Yeah.
You don't know how many he's going to get. It's kind of same with Hogs.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be way up there.
Yeah, they're not going to be scoring 35 goals or anything.
No, but they're going to put up a good amount of goals. And I think that just makes us stronger. It makes us deeper.
And with Podkolzin too, I don't really expect his game to... I don't expect there to be a sophomore slump just because the way he plays is so...
He's strong.
Yeah, and he's physically engaged, and we've seen it already in the preseason. That goal he scored against Calgary was beautiful in a game that sucked because they were getting mobbed.
Yeah, and you've seen Garland just dishing him beautiful passes too. I think if you put those two together, they have some chem.
There is chemistry between Garland and Podkolzin. We've seen it a couple times last year.
Yeah,
and Pods and Petey, there's so many players that I'm excited to see this year, but those might be the 2 biggest ones.
Yeah.
Petey, I really feel like he's just going to dominate this league. This is going to be the Elias Patterson, I'm here season.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. And then, you just want to see what Brock can do with just a clear mind focusing on hockey, right? Maybe he's like his rookie year, right? People forget that because we had Petey and then we had Quinn Hughes. Brock almost scored 30 goals as a rookie. And
people forget, he was the all-star or the MVP at the all-star game. Brock Besser is no freaking joke. And I think this year he's extremely motivated. I can't wait to see what the boys can do.
And again, JT Miller will be another interesting one, right? Is he a 99-point player? Is that what he is? Or is
Yeah.
he a 75-point guy that just had a great year?
Which I'm okay with.
Me too. If Miller is a consistent 80-point guy, I have no problem with that.
Perfect.
Also, we'll see what Bo can do too.
Yeah,
Will Bo crack 30 again? Is that what Bo is? Or is Bo just a solid second line?
I think Bo last year got lots of opportunity to be that guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of showed, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? So why not give it to him again this year? I think he can do it.
It's funny too to see Bo's game evolve. It's crazy how long he's already been a Canuck. I remember his rookie year, and his game has changed so much. his rookie season, it was end-to-end rushes, just Bo taking on a whole team. Now he's scoring goals from 10 feet out of the net, kind of being stationary, just taking those slot shots,
sniper shots.
Yeah, you don't really see the Bo rush super often. When you do, it's always exciting though.
Unless it's against Jordan Binnington, he'll toe drag every defenseman and score back pocket, no problem. It's super exciting to see the evolution of Bo's game, and it's so funny too because you look at all-time records. It's Henrik Sedin, Daniel Sedin, just littered with Luongo Sedins everywhere, and then you look at current Bo Horvat. The guy's a menace, man, and I can't wait to see what he can do this year.
Underrated player, and hopefully now that we have some more defensive pieces, he gets those kind of taken away from his game, because Bo is not a two-way guy like you always have heard him be. He's okay defensively. He's not bad.
No.
But offense is his game. You just need to let Bo run wild in the offensive zone, and now we have the chance to do that, especially if JT Miller gets the hard minutes and can kind of keep his head above water.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember with Miller too, right? This is his second year playing center full time. So he's always been a winger, right? So it's a big shift, especially learning in the NHL, right?
Which you've seen him lose a lot of draws in the preseason. He was not winning many draws. I wasn't very impressed with his center activity.
I really think JT Miller was completely checked out for the preseason. I think he knows preseason doesn't matter.
It was weird. I didn't expect that from him and Bo, but it seemed like both of them just were
you gotta...
Preseason is preseason.
Yeah, they're two veteran guys, right? They're not fighting for a roster spot. They're going to be on the squad. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wish I wouldn't have seen that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that'll wrap up this episode. When we see you next weekend, when you see this next Monday, there'll be a real puck being played. We'll have actual goals that count. Knock on wood. Games. Let's not get fucking shut out or nothing. Let's get all that bad juju out. Hopefully we got a couple wins to start the season. And
we're on the road, so you know how that goes. But
hockey's back. All right. If you like the show, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is.
There you go. Another one in the bag.